It's like, as a young girl, you play in boys league because at that time your dad couldn't find a girls league for you.
Yeah.
But right now, things has changed a little bit. So in the future, what do you want to see, like, or the things for girls basketball?
Listen closely to what she said. More opportunities, more visibility, more access. It sounds straightforward, but it's actually historic. Caitlin Clark is speaking from a position no one in women's basketball has ever reached. She's not asking for attention. She already has it. Her Nike commercial hit 2.2 million views in under 24 hours. When Clark talks about the sport's future, she isn't speculating. She's actively shaping it.
So, Indiana Fever superstar Caitlin Clark has already made a massive impact on the growth of women's basketball, has experienced over the last few years. In fact, she, along with several others, because my God, y'all can't not name somebody else, Angel Reese, Paige Beckers, please, has been the driving force in this growth, especially within the WNBA. While there have been popular players and well-known names in women's basketball.
December 26th, 2024. That's when Clark's interview with the Chinese content creator went live. The timing is key. Just one day earlier, Nike released her first major commercial. Not a social post or behind-the-scenes clip, but a full production spot that aired during the Cowboys-Redskins NFL game on Christmas Day. It was such a big deal that State Farm, one of her other sponsors, commented on Nike's ad during the third quarter. The obvious question on everyone's mind: why did it take Nike 8 months to roll this out?
So, little reaction from this video right here. Of course, the tagline is "from anywhere," meaning she can shoot a three and hit it from anywhere. This guy says, "How about South Korea? About time." This is one cool ad, and about time Nike from anywhere. Yeah, I mean, even State Farm, somebody who sponsors her, just weighed in on another sponsor's actual ad. That's pretty wild. State Farm, especially
2.5 million views. And that's just on Nike's official channel, not counting the countless sports outlets, fan pages, and news sites that shared it. The ad could have dropped on draft night in April 2024, when she signed her contract, or even during her first game. Instead, Nike waited until Christmas Day, the biggest sports viewing day outside the Super Bowl, with NFL and NBA games airing at the same time. Was it clever timing or a missed chance? The truth is, Caitlin Clark has been the biggest story in women's basketball since her junior year at Iowa. The commercial is great, but the delay? Inexcusable.
she's not wrong. It's influencing young girls to get out there and play basketball and give them more opportunities to play basketball. Now, I don't know, is it hard to find opportunities to play basketball as a young girl? I know even here in rural East Texas, we had junior high and high school girls basketball, even in a very small school like I went to, which was like, we literally had 500 students, 800 students in the whole school. I can't remember now. My senior class had 32 people in it. But we had full team and we had some good.
Now, let's focus on what Clark said in that interview. It shows how she sees her role beyond just her own career. She's thinking about the 8-year-old girl in rural Iowa who wants to play basketball, but rarely sees anyone like her on TV. Clark shared that she played in boys' leagues as a kid because her dad couldn't find girls' leagues. And that was less than 20 years ago. In 2024, that shouldn't be happening, yet it still does. The bigger issue is infrastructure. Most schools offer girls' teams by junior high, but what about younger kids? What about leagues for 6-, 7-, or 8-year-olds, or AAU programs that don't require families to drive hours? Clark is highlighting access at the very foundation of the sport. Because if a girl doesn't start playing until 13, she's already behind in skill development.
I would love to see that. I grew up in a Larry Bird fan, a major Larry Bird fan, and Charles Barkley. Can we get some kind of a Space Jam, Jordan, Bird, Barkley, Caitlin Clark situation? You know what? Let's keep it real. Can we get a Caitlin Clark Space Jam movie? Can we get that? I want to see that. That's a Space Jam I would see, unlike the fake sequel, Space Jam 2, The Search for Chinese Dollars, starring LeBron James.
Look at the reaction to that Nike commercial. Fans are calling for Clark to appear alongside Michael Jordan and Larry Bird, or even star in a Space Jam movie instead of LeBron. These aren't just casual comments. They're from people who grew up watching Jordan, Bird, and Barkley, and they see something rare, a player who can transcend her league. Consider this. The 2021 Space Jam sequel made $163 million worldwide. That's solid, but it didn't match the cultural impact of the original. Why? Because despite his greatness, LeBron never captured casual fans the way Jordan did. Clark has that same magnetic quality. She isn't just popular with WNBA fans. She's attracting people who normally wouldn't watch women's basketball or basketball at all.
Nevertheless, awesome spot. I don't get it. I mean, this commercial could have, about effing time, Nike. I mean, this commercial could have been put out like the first month she hit the league. I still don't think we can act like Nike's done a good job with this. I mean, this commercial.
The Nike commercial uses the tagline "From Anywhere." On one level, it nods to her incredible three-point range, shots from 30 feet that make defenders look silly. But it also tells her story. From a small town in Iowa to packed arenas nationwide, from playing in boys' leagues to becoming the face of women's basketball. From anywhere to everywhere. And that message resonates worldwide. Clark's interview with Teller Tong wasn't aimed just at U.S. fans. It was posted on YouTube with a Chinese content creator to reach international audiences. In the clip, she emphasizes going to places like China to grow the game. She gets it. The next phase for women's basketball isn't just American TV ratings. It's about building a global fan base.
On TV, and the more people can come and watch us and buy a ticket, or we can go to places like China or wherever it's at globally to help grow the game and allow people to see us play basketball, I think is a really important and powerful thing when you really get to see people you idolize up close. Those were some of the most impactful moments of my childhood, so I know how impactful that can be for young girls.
Clark reflected on the impact of seeing players up close during her childhood, calling those experiences some of the most meaningful of her life. She highlighted the power of visibility and representation, being able to watch someone who looks like you achieve what you dream of doing. That's why the WNBA's TV presence matters. It's not just about revenue, though that's important. It's about the girl at home who suddenly believes she can do this too. The numbers back it up. The WNBA averaged 1.2 million viewers per game in the 2024 regular season. Indiana Fever games with Clark drew 1.78 million viewers. These aren't just stats. They represent millions of young girls watching professional women's basketball, some picking up a ball for the first time, some sticking with it through high school, college, and maybe even the WNBA. Here's the bigger picture. On December 26th, 2024, Clark gave an interview to a Chinese content creator, just one day after Nike released her first major commercial. That ad hit 2.5 million views in under 24 hours, drew a comment from State Farm on a competitor's spot, and sparked chatter about Clark starring alongside Jordan and Bird in future campaigns. The delay in releasing the commercial remains puzzling. Nike had 8 months to leverage the biggest story in women's sports and waited until Christmas Day. But more important than timing is what Clark actually said. When asked about the future of girls basketball, she didn't focus on salaries, arenas, or TV deals. She spoke about creating opportunities for young girls, about visibility, access, and the chance to watch professional women up close, the same way she saw her idols growing up. That perspective shows exactly how she views her platform and the impact she can have. Clark isn't just focused on her own earnings or brand. She's thinking about building the foundation for the next generation of players. She shared that growing up in rural East Texas, she had to play in boys' leagues because girls' leagues didn't exist. That was less than 20 years ago, and even in 2024, girls in small towns across America face the same problem. Teams and leagues just aren't available. This is where Clark's influence becomes real. The WNBA averaged 1.2 million viewers per game in 2024, up 170% from the previous year. Indiana Fever games with Clark drew 1.7 million viewers. Those numbers represent millions of young girls seeing professional women play for the first time. Some will pick up a basketball, join school teams, or push their parents to find youth or AAU programs. Visibility drives demand, and demand builds infrastructure. Nike's From Anywhere commercial reinforces this message. On the surface, it highlights Clark's three-point range. Shots from the logo from 30 feet, making defenses irrelevant. But deeper, it tells her story. From a small town in Iowa to sold-out arenas, from boys' leagues to becoming the face of women's basketball. From Anywhere to Everywhere speaks directly to every girl told her dreams were too big. Clark also recognizes the global potential of the sport. Her interview with Tong wasn't just for American audiences. It was aimed at Chinese viewers and international markets. She emphasizes the importance of WNBA teams traveling abroad to grow the game. She isn't just thinking about US TV ratings. She's building a worldwide fan base that can sustain the league for years to come. The Space Jam comparisons are telling. Fans are calling for Clark to star in a basketball movie, appear in ads with Jordan and Bird, and become the face of Nike basketball like no women's player ever has. These aren't just die-hard WNBA fans speaking. They're casual viewers who grew up watching Jordan and recognize the same transcendent quality in Clark. She isn't just popular in her sport. She's drawing people who normally wouldn't watch basketball at all. That's the difference between a great player and a transformative figure. Great players dominate their sport. Transformative figures grow it. Clark is doing both. As a rookie, she averaged 19.2 points and 8.4 assists per game, leading the league in assists while facing the toughest defensive attention any first-year player has ever seen. Off the court, she's driving viewership that's reshaping how networks value women's sports. The WNBA's next TV contract will be negotiated with her ratings as leverage. Expansion teams are being discussed in cities previously uninterested in women's basketball. Youth participation in girls' programs is surging nationwide. These aren't coincidences. They're the result of one player capturing mainstream attention and keeping it. So when Clark talks about wanting more opportunities for young girls, she isn't being idealistic. She's describing a process already in motion. Visibility drives demand. Demand builds infrastructure. Infrastructure creates opportunities. Those opportunities produce the next generation who will push the sport further. The question isn't whether Caitlin Clark is good for women's basketball. That was settled months ago. The question is whether the WNBA, Nike, broadcasters, and youth programs can act fast enough to seize this moment, because windows like this don't stay open forever. The attention is here. The viewership is here. The cultural momentum is here. Yet Nike waited 8 months to release a commercial. How many other opportunities are being delayed, postponed, or missed because organizations are moving at their usual pace? Clark isn't waiting. She's thinking about 8-year-old girls who need leagues, about growing the game in China and beyond, and about building infrastructure that will outlast her playing career. The institutions need to match that vision with action. Not next year, not next season, but now, while the momentum exists to make lasting changes in how women's basketball is structured, funded, marketed, and grown. If they move too slowly, treat this as just another marketing moment instead of the transformative opportunity it is, they'll look back in 5 years and realize they let a chance slip away. The real question, will the WNBA and its partners move fast enough? Will they invest in youth programs while girls are watching Clark on TV and dreaming big? Will they expand internationally while her name recognition is at its peak? Will they negotiate TV deals that reflect her true value rather than old benchmarks? Or will they play it safe, move cautiously, and wonder why the momentum faded, even as Clark does her part? 2.5 million views on a commercial, record TV ratings, sold-out arenas, international interviews. And through it all, she's focused on opportunities for the next generation, not just herself. The question is whether everyone else can keep up. Are the institutions moving fast enough, or are they already falling behind?